Today we're going to be discussing some major news in relation to the 2020 edition of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This is Triple Crown Racing, let's get into it. Hello everybody and welcome along to today's video. Today we're actually going to be talking about some news that doesn't relate to Formula 1. We've had a lot of Formula 1 news throughout the week, and I actually made 2 videos on some Formula 1 news, so I think it's about time we talk about some sports car racing. COVID-19 has unfortunately affected every single career field imaginable. It is causing financial chaos across the board, and naturally, motorsport has not gone undisturbed. Race teams have had to miss races, which costs them money. In fact, AlphaTauri, depending on how you want to pronounce it, Principal Franz Tost said recently that for every missed Grand Prix, Formula 1 teams were losing $2 million US. Pretty crazy, huh? The financial effects of COVID-19 recently made themselves known in the world of sports car racing, with the withdrawal of some very high-profile entries into the rescheduled 2020 24 Hours of Le Mans. There were 2 major announcements in terms of withdrawals. However, there were other aspects to this story which I will get to later. Porsche announced that they were withdrawing their 2 American entries from the race. Now, if you aren't quite familiar with the way the Porsche factory GTE/LM program works, allow me to explain. In the World Endurance Championship, the Porsche factory program is run by a team known as Manthey Racing. In IMSA, over in America, the Porsche factory program is run by Core Autosport, who have also run various prototype programs over the years. It was a similar setup to the way that the Ford GT program was working from 2016 until the end of 2019, and they were run by Chip Ganassi UK and Chip Ganassi US. Porsche have, of course, withdrawn the US entries because there are some issues with not only in regards to quarantine laws, but also for financial reasons as well. And they were going to be fielded by Nick Tandy, Earl Bamber, and Matt Campbell in the 93 car, while Patrick Pilet, Matthew Jaminet, and Julian Andlauer were going to be piloting 94. However, the European Manthey cars are still in the race, so there will be some factory Porsche GTE/LM cars. That's not all. We've also lost 2 more entries from GTE Pro, and they were both from Corvette Racing. The number 63, that was going to be driven by Antonio Garcia, Jordan Taylor, and Nicky Katzberg, as well as the 64, that was going to be driven by Ollie Gavin, Tommy Milner, and Marcel Fazler, were both withdrawn. This leaves 7 GTE Pro cars left in the field. We have now had 5 withdrawals from the race, which of course includes the 4 cars I have just mentioned, as well as the SRT41 Garage 56 entry that was set to be run by Frederic Sosset. These withdrawals from the race have now meant that the number 55 Spirit of Race entry, the number 4 Bicolas LMP1 entry, the number 17 IDEX Sport entry, the number 20 High Class Racing entry, and the number 78 Proton Competition entry will be moving up from the reserve list to the actual grid. On the plus side, with Bicolas now in the race, it means that the pitifully low LMP1 car count has now been bumped up from 6 to 7. Back to GTE Pro. This is the first time that Corvettes have not gone to Le Mans since 2000, when the Corvette racing program first started up. And it's certainly a shame that we won't be getting 4 factory Porsches at Le Mans this year. Unfortunately, I don't think we've seen the last of the GTE Pro Le Mans withdrawals. Risi Competizione has been the little team that could over the past few years. They have run a part-time GTE/LM program for a while. Well, a very, very part-time program after their 488 GTE was destroyed during the 2017 24 Hours of Le Mans. Since then, they have made heroic comebacks to racing with a few highlights along the way, such as their victory at Motul Petit Le Mans at the end of last year. They are currently scheduled to race at Le Mans this year, but they have proven financially fragile. And if we look at the withdrawals so far, they weren't just P2 or GT AM teams that raced in the European Le Mans series. You know, they'll do a few races a year and then rock up once a year for Le Mans. No, they were Porsche and Corvette, two of the biggest factory teams, and they were both American teams like reeking, which of course is one of the major problems that we're now facing with Le Mans, because there's difficulties with the American teams coming over. If something like that could happen to those teams, then I fear that the same fate may await Risi Competizione. But let's hope for the best. Risi is the little team that can, and let's hope they shall continue to do so. Let's hope that Risi Competizione makes Le Mans this year. Anyway, that's going to do it from me. What do you think of the Porsche and Corvette withdrawing their American entries? I personally think it's quite, you know, it's big news. Do you think Risi will make Le Mans this year? Actually, while we're at it, why not comment your class predictions for Le Mans this year? Comment below. I do read all the comments and will most likely respond to you, so you may as well say something. All of the socials are in the description below, including the TCR Instagram, Twitter and Discord server, as well as my own personal Twitter. Please go check those links out if you haven't already done so. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.